G'day Tiger fans and welcome to Richmond's official weekly podcast Talking Tigers, and this week we will address the outrageous behaviour of Carlton Premiership hero Mark Sellers-McClure. What were you thinking, Sellers? Greeners is going to go through his 12 positives for the year. I'll tell you what, my stello yellow and black form continues, boys, and JB will scorch us again with another hot club news and medical room segment. He will fill us in on Brett Delidio's troublesome calf. Boys, welcome. Great to be here again.
Yes, very good. There's just a hint of spring in the air. Just a little bit warmer in Melbourne, just a little bit.
It's not bad today,
No,
is
it's a little bit warmer. It's nice.
Now, JB, this was your song choice today. Great song by the Hunters.
Hunters and Collectors, yep. One of my favourites, and I don't know about you, but I saw a man get 43 touches, 22 contested possessions, 14 clearances, kick a couple of goals. Stat line's great. Was it the best 43 possession game ever? Probably not. Was it the best?
Don't forget the 2 goals.
Yeah, I said that.
I said, okay.
Was it Dusty's best game ever? I don't think so. But
Probably not, but
I think he was best.
you know what? I'm going to have to do it.
Let's go to you, Rich.
Go.
I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not going to take this anymore.
So let's just run through some numbers here again, Tone.
Just go through them again.
43 possessions.
Yep.
Career high.
Yep.
22 contested possessions.
Career high.
Career high. Pretty important part of the game, although Clarko says not quite as important. But I think 22 is a pretty outrageous number.
It is.
For contested possessions.
Correct.
14 clearances.
It's career high.
Career high. And I think the most ever recorded in a game is 18.
Yep.
So 14 clearances is pretty good. 14 clearances.
Absolutely.
Couple of goals, couple of snags.
Yeah.
From the midfield.
Might have covered more meterage than any other player on the ground, I think you'll find as well.
There you go again. That's not a career high, but plenty of metres.
It's a game high.
Now, if you put all those together,
Yep.
You'd think at least one vote, wouldn't you?
You'd have to expect to get a vote.
Zach Merritt played pretty well. You could argue a case for Zach Merritt.
I don't think there's any argument that he was best on ground by a mile.
So you'd expect at least one vote's what I'm saying.
Yep. Even if you knew, if Joe Biden would have given him a vote.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Joe
and he
Biden
knows nothing about the game.
Nothing. He would have given him a vote.
So what was Mark Sellers-McClure thinking on ABC Radio when he did not give Dustin Martin a single vote? This is a bigger travesty than the day Greg Williams did not get a Brownlow vote out of Waverley, which cost him a Brownlow.
I reckon there should be a Senate inquiry into this.
Seriously,
No,
Sellers.
it's a Senate inquiry. This is outrageous. But
What were you thinking, Sellers?
It's all part of his contrary, his shtick. This is it's him.
In
and
fact,
the more people go on about him not doing it, he'll try and justify
So he'll be
it.
enjoying
He's
this
got to
round?
love it. He thrives on it.
Because he tunes into Talking
He does.
Tigers.
As much as he loathes Richmond, because
Does
that
he?
goes back. Of course, it's the old Richmond-Carlton rivalry. He hates Richmond. We towed him up a few times. Admittedly, they did with us too. But there's that rivalry, and he won't let go of the rivalry. He will not let go, and anything he can find
Wouldn't he be happy
that
with the
will
82
get on
flag?
anything he'll find that will get on the quince, the collective quince
Right.
of the Richmond supporters, he will do.
No, but my point here is
Yep.
that the job that he has giving votes, it's actually not it's not something that you muck around with.
No, it's
Because there's an actual award on the end of that.
Absolutely.
What if Dusty misses the ABC Footballer of the Year by a vote or two votes?
What's the
I don't know.
prize?
Well,
What's
I
the
don't know
award?
what it is, but it's
not out with Jared. It might be.
but you know what I mean. It's an award.
Yeah.
Don't make light of this, Tone.
No, I'm
That's
not.
not
I'm not.
light at
And
all.
I would have thought that Jared Wakely would have been incensed with it as well.
But no, it's a serious
Of
award.
course
and
it is. I agree with you.
When you're giving votes, you've got to take it seriously. And I understand if Sellers doesn't think he was best on ground, but he was in the best three players on the ground.
I think he tried to claim that because of his kicking efficiency, that I think he might have said that 15 of his kicks were ineffectual.
But when you get 22 contested, you're under pressure.
And if you're getting 43 kicks, even if 15 are ineffectual, sorry, I'm getting involved in your rant.
This is
there.
my rant.
Right. But even if 15 are ineffectual, that's still 28 that were effective.
Yeah. So anyway,
He doesn't have a leg to stand on.
I'll finish up this rant by saying that is ridiculous. He was clearly in the top three players in the ground. And Sellers, take your job seriously. You're there to give votes, and regardless of the Richmond Carlton thing in the past,
let go.
Let go.
Just let
Yeah.
go. Here.
But anyway, Dusty, what a great game it was.
Yep.
Well, we're going to get to a few more tweets later, but Keith Upton wrote in during the week using hashtag Talking Tigers, which is a way you can get involved with the show.
Yeah.
You wrote, looks like McClure has written your rant for you this week, Richo. And there it was.
Spot on. Tick.
Christmas Smithers said Dusty had more possessions than McClure has hairs on his head, which is a bit harsh.
Still getting around in those green glasses, those lime green glasses.
I actually don't mind Sellers.
He's done well.
I've had a few beers with him, and he's a good fella, but
Not sure about the glasses.
he was kidding himself on the
So,
week.
the tail and Colin, they've all chipped in.
All our regular contributors.
They didn't miss.
What are the chances that on Fox Footy when he's on Wednesday night, right on AFL 360, that he apologises? A million to one.
Won't.
A million to one, isn't it?
Sellers will not
There will be
apologise.
no ground conceded on this, will there?
Oh, no, absolutely not.
No.
Hey, you noticed a big name in town over the weekend,
Oh,
boys.
we mentioned him, didn't we?
Yeah.
Last week.
Joey Biden.
The vice pres.
He was at that game, wasn't he?
No. He was at the Carlton West Coast.
Carlton West Coast.
Would have been supporting the Eagles, wouldn't he?
Do you reckon he really cared two hoots about the footy, Big Joe?
He would have liked the Eagles. That's the native bird of America. He would have been supporting the Eagles, you reckon?
But
Couldn't care, you reckon?
No, he wouldn't have cared less. It was just on his schedule. But
so who was going through the game?
He was there. Gil McLaughlin was obviously there. The MCC chairman,
Goff.
Stephen Smith was there. Is it Stephen Smith? Ex-Melbourne.
No.
Not
Goffy.
Yeah.
Stephen Smith.
Yeah, Stephen
Smith, former Melbourne player.
He was there.
And Mason Cox.
They had Mason Cox there. Obviously, the links there for Mason being American, showing him around. But I bumped into. This is not Chief Watch.
This is an early Chief. You're going early with everything today.
I mean, we can't fit all
left.
We can't fit it all in. So we've got a Chief Watch a bit later, but he's a bit flat, Brendan.
What was that? Oh, I know.
Well, you know. When the big name's in town, he likes to get around them. And the Vice President of the United States.
He would have expected that he would be explaining the game to him.
He thought he should have been the man that showed Joe around the MCG on Sunday. Not Mason Cox, not Stephen Smith, not Gil McLaughlin.
Yeah, well, particularly with his, very close to Obama anyway, isn't he?
Oh, he is.
Brendan.
Yeah.
So he would have thought, anyway.
Yeah.
It was an oversight, clearly an oversight by the US government.
And he was filthy. The biggest, he thought, okay, I'll forgive not being at the footy, but he thought he should have been at Government House Sunday night for dinner. He did with the governor.
He even offered to cook something, didn't he?
No, I think he did. But while we're on the Chief, it's pretty Chief related today. Oh, he would too.
He said, I'll just cook the meal for the
forgot
Vice
about that.
Pres.
After
Richmond. The man who can cook steam up broccoli and
the microwave like no one else.
Saute a bit of mushroom.
Like no one else.
Hey, it's his birthday yesterday.
Oh, happy birthday,
So,
Chief.
Happy
Chieftain.
birthday to Chief. And you had a bit of cake for him yesterday?
A bit of cake, which he baked himself.
How old is he?
He's got to that age where he's actually subtracting now.
Is he?
Yeah, he's subtracting.
No, he'd be 43
Oh, you know how
44.
how vain he is. He just likes to, he just doesn't want to admit exactly how old he
No,
is.
we're being serious here. Happy birthday.
Yeah, happy birthday
to the Chief yesterday. I think he was 44 or 45, I reckon.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
very
But Tone,
Yes.
you want to do
Matty.
something?
Well, I just thought I would. Obviously, where we're at with our win-loss ratio this year, it's obviously not that flash, obviously compared to the last few years.
Yeah.
We understand that.
Yeah.
We understand. However, and I've said this before, that I honestly believe that we could be closer now to our next era of sustained success than we were 12 months ago with the addition of...
And you've been saying that for a while.
I've been saying that
I reckon
even
you've said
before
it
the
all.
season.
I reckon you've been saying it all year.
Anyway, so I've included some of those kids in this. This is my top 12, top dozen positives out of the year, okay? And, probably not necessarily in order, although the way I look at it probably is in order. Anyway, number one, of course, Dustin Martin. His form, absolute career best form.
Yeah.
He is now in, I'd say he's in the top, 3, 4 players in the comp?
At the moment.
Right at the moment.
We got Danger, him. I think Luke Parker's right up there.
He's probably in the top 3 players in the comp right now, and a massive chance for the Brownlow. Number 2, I've got Alex France, who's continued his form. He's been he's a dual All-Australian last 2 years. You're on the selection panel. I won't put any heat on you, but I'd be very surprised if he didn't make it a hat-trick of All-Australian. So he has maintained excellent form this year. Number 3, Sammy Lloyd. Sammy Lloyd's kicked 29 goals, another 3-goal haul. His 10th 3-goal haul last Saturday. He's been terrific, Sam Lloyd. He's just, got one of a brilliant goal again.
He's a smart football player.
He just knows how to kick goals.
And there's got to be more guys like Sam Lloyd out there.
Correct.
With a bit of smart recruiting.
So he's really coming. He's got fitter. He's taking his game to a new level. Number 4, I've got the skipper, Trent Cotchin. Copped some flack early in the year, but he has responded extremely well.
Consistent.
He has been very, very consistent and very impressive. Number 5, Sean Hampson. He is in career best form. He's taken his game, and full credit to him, because he's battled a lot of injuries over the years, but he is playing some really good football at the moment.
Ruck work is very, very good.
And he's even taking a few contested grabs now, too. You know?
He's got a bit of confidence, I think.
Yeah. Very that nice bit of work where it was actually our first goal. They kicked the first 3 goals, the Bombers. Took the ball from a ruck throw-in and put on his boot. And Number 6, Ben Griffiths. Now, Benny hasn't probably been really consistent, and he spent some time back at VFL. But
showed that his best is well and truly
in that
good
Sydney
enough.
game where he kicked 5, and last weekend where he kicked 3, he is showing he can have a real impact on games, and is an exciting talent, no doubt about that. Number 7, Sean Grigg is probably having his most consistent season. Another couple of goals on the weekend, and he's been really, really important to the team's structure. And then I've got from 8 to 12, I've got five kids. Daniel Rioli.
Sean Rioli. Darcy
Daniel Rioli, who probably played his best game on the weekend. Had equal team high 5 tackles. Gave a brilliant lightning handball to Sean Grigg for a goal, and then kicked that goal, which sealed the game for us.
Bit of composure.
Under pressure from about 45 out or something. Connor Manager at number 9, who's just showing some really good signs. Didn't get a heap of it on the weekend, but runs the lines, breaks the lines, and uses it really well. I've got Georgie Castagna, who I think he's only played 4 games now, but again, had about 23 touches I think he had on the weekend. Takes the game on, bowl, takes it on. I've got Shorty, Jaden Short at 11. He had about over 20 touches. I think 7 rebound 50s.
Looks like this defender's the role for him.
I think so, and he uses it well. Again, quick and uses it well. And I've got Oleg Markov. I know he's only played 2 games, but really shows some composure.
Nice goal.
And uses it well. There you go.
Good
spoil. Doesn't.
So
and I might have missed a few.
So what you're saying that
not all doom and
in a
gloom.
year that things haven't gone how you would like,
100%.
There's something there to look at.
And there's a lot to build on there.
And that's why you keep going for the last 5 or 6 weeks.
Of course it is.
Yeah, well done, Tone. Very good.
I was watching some of the footy shows last night on television, and I also like to watch Friday Front Bar on Channel 7.
Yeah. With
Mick Malloy.
They like to bring up a thing that Barry Hall said a few weeks ago.
Which is, if you haven't seen it,
go track it down.
I'm not getting involved in this because I know
where this is going.
If you have to see the Barry Hall one.
Yeah. Well, I think he went along the lines of saying that Kurt Tippett is out of the game. He needs to lift, and he's done so already. Anyway, I was watching Talking Footy last night.
He might come in and land one on your jaw if you
won't.
Anyway,
better not let Baz know.
Hi, Barry, if you're listening.
Baz, only a joke.
Now, I heard something last night
which made even less sense
from one of the members on this table.
And let's go back to Richo, and he was just doing a little bit of, I don't know whether he's doing some cogitating or some ruminating in the box, the commentary box at the weekend.
I reckon if you start your career and you've got 21 other teammates and then, I don't know, 25 a year maybe, and then 4 or 5 new ones from there each year for 10 years. I've got no idea. What am I talking about?
Say that again.
So were you cogitating? What were you trying to outdo Baz?
No.
That made less sense than Baz.
You know when you start talking and you know that you're getting lost as you're talking and you don't pull out, you keep going?
Yep.
Oh, I had no idea what was going on.
In fact,
we've all done it.
Yeah,
I do it a lot.
I think, in fact, it was 157 players that you played for. So I don't know where you would get.
My theory
your math was completely up.
I'm not going to revisit it.
It's like the goalpost. Don't go there.
What do we see from him?
Probably one for Manfred, isn't it? Next week, I reckon.
I can't comment. I haven't seen
he's played extremely well. It's just I don't know. I'm not sure whether he gets a go in the midfield. I mean, obviously he's a midfielder, so it's just whether there's a spot available in the midfield there.
Will he get another 12 months?
Oh, I would have thought so. Yeah, I would definitely think so, yeah.
Right, and we've got a question for you guys off the tweets this time, using hashtag Talking Tigers.
Yes.
There you go.
Very good, Scones.
Scones,
very good, Scones.
Not quite with us today, Scones.
Oh, no, he's moving.
Oh,
he's moved, in a good spot. Yeah, he'll cut loose there.
Be near a backpacking establishment.
It's near the baseball club, apparently.
Is it?
Can you imagine that?
This one's from the tail.
5-minute walk.
With McIntosh, Hooley, and hopefully Yaron all back next year, is there a reason Nick Foston can't be a full-time midfielder?
No, there is absolutely no reason. You know, just the composition of the team next year, getting Basher back and Yaz. So
you know what that means? There's
options.
There's options. Yeah, and that might mean a new role for Basher too, which could be good. You know, having further up the ground, half forward, maybe wing. Yeah.
Well, just hang tight for the injury list.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And speaking of the injury list, Wayne Murphy's written in with Deledio possibly out. He says no worries at all. I say Nathan Drummond into the team.
Yeah, I reckon they want to give Drummer another one at least.
Okay.
Yeah.
I
would have thought Benny. I'm not the selector, obviously, but I would have thought Benny Lennon might be a fair chance this week.
With the Chief's birthday yesterday, and saying happy birthday to you and me, Chief. 18th of July. Nice to share a birthday with the Tiger Great. So happy birthday to Mick G.
Happy birthday, Mickey.
Another person who had their birthday yesterday is at RMCQ. Loves sharing a birthday with the Chief, and his wife bought him a lovely 15th century yak leather chair.
Mass producing them now.
I think the Chief's involved in that.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, just a little thing on the side, yeah.
They must be hard to reproduce. Yak leather, 15th century.
Plenty of fake stuff going around in Bali,
Redhead wrote in using hashtag Talking Tigers, thinking Dave Asprey is getting his mojo back. Took some great intercept marks on the weekend.
Oh, yeah, he took 5.
Actually,
5 intercept marks.
He's a little bit unlucky he didn't get in the dozen. I might have to extend it to 13.
His last month, Dave Asprey's been
no, you're right.
Very good.
There's another one.
Tigerland Tone's written in saying Hawthorn this week will be Hampson's 15th game for the year. That'll equal his career high across 10 AFL seasons.
Yep, that's
so it just shows that he's getting his body back.
Yeah.
And Johnny P's sent us in
before about when I mentioned Griff. Griff's marking.
Well, Asprey's intercept marking.
Yeah.
I saw Patton take a few up at the Gabba on the weekend, and I'll tell you what, Asprey and Patton, there's something similar about them.
How'd he go on the weekend?
Johnny?
Got a couple.
Good, I'll tell you later.
Oh, okay. All right.
I bumped into Drew Morford, who had something very, very positive to say about Johnny Patton. All right, sorry, JB.
No, that's all I got. That's it. The Chief has been up to a bit.
Oh, it's a chiefy type of show today.
It is a very chiefy type show.
Now, JB, you brought this to my attention last week because you're all over social media. That's obviously part of your role here at the Richmond Footy Club. Now, these are some of the big hitters that you will find on Twitter, okay? Katy Perry's got 90 million followers on Twitter.
Yep.
Justin Bieber has 83 million. Taylor Swift, who's over here at the moment, 75. Chief's good mate, Obama, who only joined recently, he's jumped into 75 million followers pretty quickly. Ellen, Ellen, the talk show host in America. DeGeneres, she's got 60 million people. But was it in the Financial Review?
Yep.
Yeah, in the Financial Review last week, there was an article. The top 20 CEOs in Australia on Twitter.
I think my cousin's in there.
Is that right?
Yeah. Cousin Todd.
Is
Todd
he?
Greenberg. He runs the NRL.
There you go. So, look, Chief hasn't got as many followers as Perry and Bieber, but what he does do is when he does tweet, he has quality, and it's not about how much quantity, but it's about when you do tweet, it's about who you reach. Now
that's right. Yeah.
Is that right?
Well, it's about engagement. So a picture of the Chief with myself or Tone here probably wouldn't go so well.
What about a picture? What about a picture with Chief and Joe Biden at Governor House?
Very well.
Really?
Or Seamus the wrestler, or Benny Cousins.
So he knows.
Or Dustin Martin.
Yeah.
So
Chief
what?
And Dustin Martin would be
That'd be a good one.
Yeah.
So what the Fin Review is saying that out of the top CEOs in Australia, Brendan Gale
works the room.
Has a reach nearly as good as any of them. Now, number one on that list is Telstra CEO Andy Penn. SA Ambulance CEO Jason Killins. I'm not sure, I wrote that down wrong.
Sure, Killen should be involved in an ambulance.
Now, Minxplore, CEO Mark Woodland, I don't know. Minxplore, I don't know what they do. And Emergent CEO Holly Ranson. Never heard of any of those companies. Holly Ranson. She's in the top 5.
Okay.
But number 6 is Brendan Gale.
Oh, no. 6?
Number 6.
In all of Australia?
In all of Australia. His reach for CEOs in Australia, a lot of CEOs, is number 6. So.
And you know the thing about that list is the number one sporting identity. on that list.
Oh, yeah.
Is there any others?
Apparently...
Well, Todd Greenberg, Fags from Adelaide.
Yeah, but what's not in the... What wasn't in the Fin review is that he was number 10, apparently, but he shot up to number 6 because he's putting all his recipes on there now, too.
Oh, yeah.
Right? He's put up images of the
Jamie
the
Oliver
steak.
has a big reach.
Yeah, and he's put up images of the sautéed mushrooms.
The Scotch fillet.
The Scotch fillet and the
steamed
the
broccoli.
steamed broccoli that he's done in the microwave.
So there you go. The Chief is a heavy hitter on Twitter.
How long does he give it in the microwave? Oh, sorry. Can I just ask you, JB?
Yes.
Have we got a Kung Fu Panda 3 update? Where is it showing at the moment?
I think it's available on DVD.
And all good videos.
Blu-rays.
And even some of the bad ones.
All the bad ones.
So what have we got this week?
This week, not much because this is our away game and it's on a Sunday. So we're stretching. Anyway, open training is at Punt Road Oval this Saturday at 10 a.m. Great for the kids.
On Saturday.
Saturday.
Yeah, good.
Sorry, 10 a.m. On Sunday, before we play Hawthorn at the MCG.
Kung Fu Panda 3?
No.
No.
The Richmond VFL side are in action against Box Hill Hawks, a double header.
Yep.
Punt Road Oval from 12:30 p.m. Now, on the weekend, our co-major partner Jeep gave away a Jeep to one lucky committed Tiger member, and that was given away to Leo Crow, who got his keys from Ty Vickery and a Van marriage. It's a great video by Matty here, available on richmondfc.com.au, so if you're looking for something to lift your spirits, that's a good video there, because Leo had a bit of a tough run and he was drawn out of the barrel, and it's a great thing for him. Now finally, to wrap up club news, I know it's a short one this week, but if you head into the GWS game next week in Canberra, which I will be myself, the Capital Tigers are hosting an array of events, including a big function on the Friday night and pre- and post-game functions on the Saturday. You can contact Sean Gourlay on sean@capitaltigers.com.au or send a call through to Flea here at the club and he'll be able to tell you all about it. So that is all for the club news this week.
Yes.
Now, just before, can I just repeat the quiz question?
Yeah, we haven't
again,
had anyone ring.
No,
Okay.
Just need to go through it again.
Yeah,
Okay.
so just make it very clear.
Yeah, very, very clear. So, Richmond's 1982
Grand
final team against Carlton. 3 members of that team had previously played for Hawthorn. Name the 3 players.
Yeah.
Okay.
9426 4423 for a Talking Tigers t-shirt.
That's right. And they're all out there now.
Yeah.
Oh, you got them out.
Yeah,
finally.
Well done, JB.
Oh, it's a great effort.
Now the injury list, all
This is
important this
important.
week.
How's Brett Deledio?
We saw Brett Deledio not feature in the second half last week. He did the warm-up prior to half-time and didn't take any further part in the game. He had a scan on his calf, his soleus muscle, which is sort of the lower part of the calf near the Achilles tendon.
Yeah. Small muscle.
That's what he had trouble with last year, I think.
Yeah, so it's
last year.
Thankfully, no major damage, and he's just going to be assessed during the week to see whether he plays against Hawthorn. In his favour is the long break.
You
this
know what
week.
I would say? Don't risk it.
I
don't know. I haven't spoken, but gee, when you're getting recurrence of nasty little injuries like that, calf issues, gee, we need him up and going.
What are you saying? That he's
but
getting old?
But you wouldn't risk it at all. What's the point of risking anything at this stage?
True.
Yeah, anyway.
Fair point.
So, we've got the longer break playing on a Sunday, so they'll assess him during this week. But, he'll be up against it to feature then.
Geez, he was playing well too.
Yeah.
He had 14 touches.
Basher
Hooley is going to return this weekend, or looking like returning this week to play in the VFL after overcoming his wrist injury, so that's a good news there. Corey Ellis is down to, he's still at the 2 to 3 week mark. He's making progress. He's running at 95% at the moment, so they're just looking for a change of direction in his running at the moment, and hopefully he's a couple away from featuring. And Camden McIntosh is still 5 weeks away. The season is coming towards an end, but they still think maybe they can get 1 or 2 games into him later in the season.
Young player to get back for next year, won't he be?
Correct. So, that's where we're at with the injury list.
We've forgotten a bit about Camden, haven't we? He was playing pretty well.
Played every game until he got injured. Yeah.
What we make of the Essendon game, guys?
It wasn't a great game, obviously, but they've been in pretty good form.
Mate, they've been playing okay.
Very competitive, very, very competitive.
They've done well against GWS and nearly won the week before.
And I guess they would have really set themselves to get a win. They're desperate to get a win.
Yeah.
And we had a lot of. I think we have 6 players in with less than 20 games experience. So we're pretty young too.
People have to now remember that.
They don't.
6 players under 20 games. That is huge.
Yep.
That'd be, there wouldn't be.
No,
Brisbane maybe would have had that sort of number, but not many other teams running around on the weekend would have 6 under 20.
No, that's true.
Maybe 6 under 50, but under 20.
Yeah. So I must admit, when they kicked the first 3 goals of the game, I was thinking, oh no, it's just going to be one of those days.
Yeah. But even in the last quarter before Daniel Rioli got that goal, they got when Danaher kicked the goal, they got within a point.
And it seemed like they had no momentum, and their crowd was really getting involved with it and everything. But so I think from that point of view, the fact that we're able to steady go and win the game, and then we controlled the ball in the last probably 5 minutes of the game too. I know it didn't look great, but we chipped it around. It's probably sort of thing that we need to be able to do. And, because we've lost some games previously.
Well, I mean, Geelong did that against Fremantle towards the end and got them over the line.
They did challenge us. So look, anyway, wins a win.
Absolutely. And there was some good signs again from those young players that certainly showed some good signs there again, which was pleasing. So
we might as well. I think we know who's going to get the 3 votes, but
unless Sellers
you go with your votes.
Me?
Yeah, you go.
All right. 3 to D. Martin, 2 to Benny Griffiths for a career high 12 marks, and 1 to the skipper Trent Cotchin, who had 35 touches as well, and just worked his backside off and was very effective.
Just before I give my votes, we've got a call for the quiz, Tone. It's David from Bendigo. David, how you going, mate? Fire away.
Yeah, good, Richo.
Yeah, David, who the 3 players, members of Richmond's 1982 grand final side that previously played for Hawthorn, who were they?
Martello, Rawlings and
Welsh. Very good, mate. Very, very good. Well done, David.
Do you remember that game, Dave?
No, mate, no. I was pretty young then.
Yeah, you're just as well. You don't remember it, mate.
Now,
I still have nightmares over it, to be honest.
David, did you think Dustin Martin was best on ground on the weekend?
Absolutely, mate, absolutely.
Hey, give Josh an email, talkingtigers@richmondfc.com.au with your address and your size, mate, and we'll get that T-shirt up to you.
Good on you guys. Thanks very much.
David.
Thanks, David.
See you, mate.
My votes were the same as Greener's. 3 to Martin, 2 to Griffiths, 1 to Cotchin.
Well, mine are the same 3 because I think clearly they were our best 3 players on the day. Martin, I went 2 to Cotchin and 1 to Griffo. What I liked about Griff, 5 contested marks. Gee, if he
5 inside 50.
If he just
3 goals.
believes that he can do that regularly, he will be a very, very good player going forward, consistent. I think a lot of it's to do with belief when you're a tall forward, and hopefully it's really starting to sink in now for him. I feel like Dustin Martin at the moment.
Oh, see if I can get him. He's probably busy.
I feel like Dustin Martin at the moment. I'm that confident in my form.
Oh, wow.
No, I am.
You are a flog.
I am just...
Seriously, why is it always about
I'm
you?
oozing self-confidence at the moment.
Oozing
You know why?
Idiocy.
I don't know if it's related to yellow and black.
You know why? Because...
Why is that?
Well done, JB. Well done. Last week, I said that Sean Hampson would have 40 hit-outs.
Yeah, it was a no-brainer.
How many do you have, JB?
I think he got a cheap one to get 40 on the knocker.
He had...
Well, he's had 40 every week.
No, seriously, you can't nail it any more than that.
He's had 40 every week for the last 10 weeks,
No, but
probably.
I said that I nailed it down to 40.
Oh, okay, right.
He had 40
not 41 or 42 or...
43. So with the form I'm in,
no, fair enough.
I'm going to say that this week, our collective team defence will restrict the superstar from Hawthorn, Cyril Rioli, to no more than 1 goal.
Why don't you add a layer to it and say that our Rioli will kick more goals?
No, I'm going to say
okay.
Cyril Rioli will kick no more than 1 goal, and in fact, I will add another layer.
Yeah.
He'll have less than 12 disposals.
So he won't be... How many knock-ons and...
No, 12 disposals or less and no more than a goal for Cyril.
So you're getting carried away now.
Our team defence.
You're being a bit silly there.
I might have got a bit
You might be a bit silly there.
With your 40 hit-outs, this might be one for Glenn Luff at Champion Day.
Yeah, Luffy.
Did they count where he took it out of the ruck and kicked the goal?
Well, no, that's a...
Good.
No, No, that was Scotty Turner, like I wrote about
exactly
that this
right.
week.
That was
because,
spot on, yeah.
Well, because
watched the
Scotty Turner,
highlights.
yes, he was the homecoming hero, Scotty, very, very popular Tiger among the Tiger Army, and he did that in the 95 semi-final against Essendon, which absolutely ignited us, taking the ball out from a throw-in and kicking the goal, and that's what Hammer did.
Yep.
Kicked our first goal.
Speaking of igniting, my turn for the yellow and black bookers, which
Yes.
Yours was pretty good last
yeah,
week.
it was okay. Someone in the
yeah.
forum on Big Footy the other day mentioned that players are texting me to not give their name.
Yeah.
That's
Well,
how
I'm doing
bad
that
I'm
with
going.
Richo
So
early in the
that's-
year, but he's turned it around. So it's not, all's not lost for you this season. With the
Well, no,
Yellow
it's not.
Blackers.
Last week I went for Brandon Ellis to get 30-plus touches and multiple goals. He got 31 touches.
Did he kick a goal?
No goals.
No.
So,
No, he got half right.
Half right.
But that wasn't that big a deal, really.
You conceited imbecile.
Anyway, this week I've gone for Taylor Hunt. He bobbed up and kicked a goal last week, and
It was a fair goal.
it was, got a few
Good on.
touches.
Kept Zaharakis quiet.
Yeah, this week he's up against playing against Hawthorn. I reckon he's going to get the most possessions for the year. I think he got 22 against Fremantle.
So he
earlier in the
needs 23.
year. 23.
All right.
Yeah.
Or even 22 I'll take, but most possessions for the year.
Yeah.
Good. I hope you're right.
Anyway,
How'd you go, Tone?
the tidbits we
No.
no.
What's happened?
I started off I am the North Melbourne of the Yellow and Black Book specials. Started the season off in a blaze of glory, and it's fair to say I've tapered off a fair
struggling,
bit.
aren't you?
I've tapered off.
Well,
I went with Jack last week to kick a
played up the
season
ground.
high. Season high 4. Well, he was 4. He needed to kick more than
Probably
4.
a positive that he didn't have to kick a goal on your win.
No, it was, but not a positive for me for the
No,
Yellow and Black Book specials. I can
you've-
assure you.
you've
So
lost
come on, Jack, lift. But
You've
I'm
lost
off.
6 or 7 in a row.
No, it's not that many. But anyway, I'm going with Liam McBurney. Now, I'm really going out on a limb here.
Yep.
Right? This is a strong and bold selection.
Yeah.
That's what we're all about here, being strong and bold.
Yeah.
Right?
What are you doing?
I'm going with Liam McBean.
Yeah.
Liam McBean to kick at least 3 goals
Wow.
against the Hawks
Against
on
Hawthorn?
Sunday. Yep.
Okay.
At least 3 goals.
Good. I hope he does.
So do I. Strong and bold.
Sam pieces. Good, Steve.
Yeah, it's one of the best. It is the best. No
What do you
doubt
got this
about
week, Tom?
I've got about. Well, I actually wrote about this, but it's the over 40s club that Dusty entered the over 40s
But
club.
not everyone would have.
You've been to a few over 40s clubs, haven't you?
There's one out at Shopping Town in Doncaster.
Is that the one that I think JB's mates used to go there?
If I went there now, I would cut it to pieces out there at Shopping Town. Go. The over 40s club.
Anyway, so he's ended. So it's first time that he's obviously had more than 40 touches in a game.
Yeah.
So 43 if you're listing sellers. But interestingly enough, I look back, and this is since stats were recorded, officially recorded back in 1965.
So is that when they started?
Yeah, well, Harry Beitzel started them off in Footy
did he?
Week. Footy
Yeah,
Week,
right, yeah.
which was a great publication. But the most by a Richmond player
Yeah.
since then, in the 50 years, or
Yeah.
5 decades since then, was Robbie Wiley.
Yeah.
Now, Rob Wiley, obviously West Australian, came out here, had 46 disposals in round 8, 1982 versus Carlton.
Was he known
at
as
the
a ball
MCG.
magnet?
Yeah, he was
Yeah,
a
he
ball
was.
magnet. And a magnificent kick for goal.
46.
Like, his nickname was Radar, because he just
Didn't
could
miss.
kick either side,
Yeah.
and he was just very, very good
So
player.
no
Robbie
Richmond
Wiley.
players ever had 50.
No. So Robbie Wiley was 46.
Yeah.
Then, interestingly, after that, the next best by a Richmond player in the last 5 decades
Yeah.
was a teammate of yours.
Joel Bowden.
Joel Bowden had 44. I don't know if you remember this game.
I do.
Do you?
Over in Port Adelaide.
No, wrong.
He did have over 40.
Yeah, no, he did. He's done it twice, but
Yeah.
he had 40 over in Adelaide, 42 against Port,
Yeah.
but he had 44 against Melbourne
That's
at the
right.
MCG round 4,
I
2009.
played in that game.
That was about a week before that
Yeah.
was your last game,
It
I
was
think.
second last game. Yeah.
Because we got beaten that game. We lost the first 4 that year or more, I think.
Yeah, something
Anyway, but he had 44 against Melbourne. So he did it twice. Another former teammate of yours,
Walker would have done it.
4 times Walker did it.
Lord Campbell.
No one's done it more than he at Richmond.
He used
4
to count
times.
his kicks, Walker.
Yeah, he did.
He used to count them.
So he actually did it for the first time back in 92.
Walker's the only bloke I played with that used to go and see the stats people at half time and see what he'd had.
Oh.
He did.
Really?
Walk, yeah.
Did you? You never had to do that?
No.
You knew exactly how many marks and kicks and goals you had, didn't you? Yeah.
You saw how I did my son Saturday night.
Oh, yeah.
No, Walker used to count them. Don't worry about that.
Yeah, well, he did it 4 times.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Brodders did it. Another teammate of yours did it against Port back in 1997.
Brodders.
Very, very good player. And then another teammate of yours, ex-teammate, Nathan Foley did it against Brisbane back in 2011.
Yeah.
Phil Egan did it against Sydney in 1983. Jackie Egan did it, had 40 exactly. Barry Rawlings had 41 against Footscray in 81. And Wayne Walsh. And Wayne Walsh did it too. He had 41 against Melbourne back in 78. 1978. But so only 10 players.
Yeah.
10 Richmond players have done. 9 previously and now 10 with Dusty. Yeah.
I bought a tidbit of my own this week, Tone.
Okay.
Sorry,
Yeah,
I didn't run this by you.
No, please.
I like it when you bring little tidbits in.
Hawthorn's period of dominance, we all know about that.
Yeah.
Richmond hasn't lost 2 games to Hawthorn in the same season. Touchwood.
Since when?
Since 1992.
Oh, wow.
You know what?
Wow.
The Hawks,
Oh,
they're due, I reckon.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
And
let's hope so.
that was during the period where we lost 16 games in a row to them. And the 2 games in 1992, Jason Tunstall kicked 29 goals across those 2 games.
Well, he kicked the 17. He kicked 17 against us. I was there. It was unbelievable. And then I think 2 years later, when Scotty Turner played on him,
kept him goalless.
Kept him goalless.
At the G. It was a Friday night game.
That's right, it was too.
Yep.
It was indeed. So
Time for a laugh, I think.
Yeah.
They were good too.
You're going to give us a Drew Morford story maybe next week.
No, I'll save it because it's a good one.
I didn't check that. Did I check these?
Morford. All I'll say is, he's got a real thing.
Has he?
For my man, the General.
Okay, all right. A mate of mine was told he was an unsuitable candidate at a job interview he went for recently.
Yeah.
Yep. Well, when the when the interviewer asked him, excuse me,
You're right. You got the docs, mate.
I've been to the docs. I'll go on that in a minute. He said, "Why do you want this job?" And then he said, "Well, I've always been really passionate about not starving to death." So it didn't go down really well. I got attacked by a group of mime artists the other night.
Mime artists?
Yeah, they did unspeakable acts to me.
Oh.
My wife... Oh, no, I can't go with that one. How do you know when a crab is drunk? It walks forward.
Scones is not
this is interesting. I'm not sure if you read about this, but after the Euro Cup and everything...
Yeah.
Yep.
The English soccer team arrived home, and they visited an orphanage in London upon their return. Okay, and it was this lovely quote: "It was amazing to put a smile on the faces of a group of people who constantly struggle and have little hope," said Timothy, aged 6. You're right.
Oh, you're an idiot.
I went to the docks the other day.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Well, just doing a bit of tidy up because we're in the process of selling, so we're selling. It's a big business, and so we're going through. We've got to paint. It's going to be a nightmare, but don't anyway. Yeah. But I accidentally.
What happened?
I accidentally ate some Christmas decorations.
Oh.
Yeah, while we're tidying up. Yeah, it was just terrible, and it gave me a really sore throat. So I went to the dog.
Yeah.
He examined me and said that I had a bad case of tonsillitis.
They're getting worse, aren't they?
Why aren't elephants allowed on the beach in summer?
Why?
Well, they can't keep their trunks up.
I've got to go. Hurry up. Go sleep, Gemma.
Yeah. And all right, we'll finish with this one. What do you call Batman disguised as a pastry chef?
What?
The Creped Crusader.
Oh.
That's it. All right. Okay.
Oh, well.
Got a few more there if you wanted.
No, that'll do today. You've had enough.
Well, I've got to keep that record intact then, JB.
Yeah.
Come on, Tigers.
Haven't lost to the Hawks twice in a year since 1992. That was a good tidbit there by you, JB.
Thanks. I've only played him once in all those years. But that's why.
I know, yeah. Hey, we'll leave you with a little bit more of the Hunters and Collectors. Do you see what I see? It's dedicated to our man, Mark Sellers McClure. We'll catch you again next week. Go Tigers!
He knows his stuff, bro.
There he goes.